let's start by explaining, just a little bit about what mock trial actually is, because, to me, just the name, obviously, it's something about lawyery mumbo jumbo. You know what I'm saying? Something
Absolutely.
like that.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think a lot of people don't know much about mock trial, but essentially what it is the Nebraska Bar Foundation puts out this fake court case with 6 different witnesses, each with their own story. This year it's about a high school drug deal that takes place and some witness tampering that supposedly happened. And essentially what each school's teams are tasked to do is assign witness roles to portray those characters and lawyer roles to examine them and act out how the court case might take place in real life.
So it's sort of half and half between an actual legal case and like sort of acting. Is that sort of?
I would say yes. It's kind of like a cross between law and theater, if you will. Like I originally got into it because I had liked acting in middle school, and then I got lured into doing the more lawyer part of it as I grew to love that side of it too. So there's a diversity in the kind of people that do mock trial. It's not all people that are just law buffs, for sure.
Yeah, I understand as well that there's actually a ridiculous amount of preparation that goes into it. I know I saw there's like a 90-page packet that you're required to read and memorize. Is that correct?
Completely accurate. We do practices twice a week. Some of our teams do it 3 times a week for at least a few hours. Sometimes we'll have extra practices as trial gets closer. Our first trial really starts on like October 1st, and we basically have to keep competing against more schools and more schools in our district, which is Omaha, which is by far the hardest district in my opinion. To get out of districts, two teams will go to state and then go through the state competition and try and win the state championship.
Okay, so I know that you sort of outlined a bit of how the tournament flow of the regular season play. So you compete against 2 different. So in a matchup, right? You would have 2 different schools going at it, and it's sort of like a tournament format throughout the whole regular season, or is there like a specific way it's set up for that?
Yes, and this is where it gets pretty interesting, actually. So it starts out just like a normal random seeds, and then it kind of forms a bracket up until the final round of districts. But 2 schools go against each other, each on a different side of the case. It flip-flops all the time, so you're not always the defendant, you're not always the prosecution, and that's what happens in a normal match. And out of that, there are the judge and 2 jurors that basically score you on ballots, and the highest score on those ballots is who wins that ballot. And there are 3 ballots. If you win 2 ballots and you lose one to the other team, you still technically win the round, but you only get 2 ballots factored into your score. So when it goes into like power ranking everybody, you start out with your win-loss record, then you go into ballots, then you go into points, and so it can really start to get into like these big long ties when it goes down the line, and it can cause some drama, some real tension and what do you call it, suspense leading up to the final round of district and then at state too.